All Wall Street in America has done is rip off the pensions because, pensions are the biggest pool of money in America. And states like Kentucky, New Jersey, Illinois, California, Hawaii are going bankrupt because Wall Street went in and just sucked all the cash out of their pension. So the school teachers like my dad, the firefighters and police officers, they have no retirement now. And so that's why it's fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. They're the same system.
The baby boomers have only known an up market, and now the end is near. They're starting to retire out just as the market is topping. China's coming down. We have trouble in Europe. I'm just watching this whole thing going, what's going to happen to the boomers? Because they actually had it the easiest of any generation I've ever seen.
The boomers had it the easiest of all generations. When we came out of high school, college and high school, we put money in the stock market, everything went up. We bought houses, everything went up. And now it's about to come down. America is just cranking out the money. They're just printing. People are now waiting for UBI, Universal Basic Income, MMT, Marxist Monetary Theory. Everybody wants free money. It's important we understand what happened in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is kind of a laughing stock right now because the Zimbabwe dollar is worth more today than it was when they were printing it. It's used today as a tourist item. It's a souvenir. It's a joke. It's no different than what Hitler did but the Weimar Republic did in Germany and America's doing today. It's no different than what it did in Venezuela or Argentina. We're doing the same thing. And most people have no idea what's happening. The United States is going social, Marxist, possibly communist. And I know I can probably get deplatformed, so be it.
Gresham's law is when fake money or bad money comes into the system, it pushes good money out. But when fake money or bad money comes in, guys like Adolf Hitler come to power. So that's why I write, because I'm being a former Marine and all this. That's what I'm concerned about. There's another economist named Schumpeter, and Schumpeter said capitalism is creative destruction. So the capitalists are always going after the fat, the lazy, the incompetent. And the fat, lazy, incompetent are the people in the Fed and the government right now. They're just fat, lazy, and dumb. And they're ripping off the people. The system is failing. We're going to have more homelessness, more unemployment, and the government has to print more money. It's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. I just don't trust our government. And they're going to have to start printing pretty quickly. And the more they print, the less value, purchasing power the dollar has, or the loonie, or the yen, or the peso. People are talking about inflation. I think we're in depression right now, and we're going to be the biggest depression in world history.
In the 1970s, that's when the world was changing.
The biggest bust in the history of the world is coming up. It's pensions. They trusted the government. They trusted their pension would be there, and it's going to go bust. And that's us. We get crushed.
It's about fake money. So that was 1971. Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. What else Nixon did in 74, he opened the door to China. And today all the jobs left America. Another thing that Nixon did, he created the 401k, fake pension. So it's fake money, fake teachers, and fake assets.
My poor dad, when he lost his pension because he ran for lieutenant governor as a Republican, he didn't know what to do. At 50 years old, he found out his PhD didn't help him at all. At 50, there was nothing on his he didn't know what a financial statement was.
The only way you get out of the rat race via a thing called a financial statement. You have to have a financial statement. Your financial statement is what your banker wants to see. So when I go talk, I just borrowed $31 million a couple of weeks ago for a piece of property in Austin, Texas. If I didn't have a strong financial statement, I couldn't borrow $31 million. And so what's happening today is the poor middle class who went to school, they got their jobs and all this stuff, they're being wiped out, while the rich are getting richer because everything the Fed prints stays in the asset class, not the business class.
Marx had one thing, so it was the abolition of private property. In other words, we could own nothing. So they wanted to take all of our private property away, and it would then go to the state. And that's why when you study communism and Marxism, it's a centralized economy. It's called, in military terms, it's called command and control. I went to military school. So it's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. And so that's why the Federal Reserve Bank is part of a communist. It's a central bank. And the central bank is not American. It's not a bank. And there's no reserves in it. So in 1971, just before I went to Vietnam, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. But they don't teach you that. You see, our system is communist. And I hate to say that because I'm a Marine. Went to Vietnam twice. I fought for this country, went to military school. And today they talk about reparations. But what history doesn't tell you is that Hitler rose to power on reparations. Why don't they teach us that stuff? So that's why I learned at military school. This book came out, Communist Manifesto came out in 1848. But in 1965, I left Hawaii and I went to school in New York, military school. First word is mission. What is the mission? Everything is mission driven. And then my instructor to study economics, he had us read the Communist Manifesto, Mein Kampf, Mao's Little Book, and other things. So we understood who the enemy was. What he recognized was the flaws, again, in 1848, the flaws in capitalism. So stage one would be socialism, which we had in 1933. FDR puts us on Social Security, we got welfare, Obamacare, and we have so many Americans without that government stimmy check. We're finished. Then he said stage two would kick in. So in 2020, I'm not a Republican or Democrat, I'm not endorsing Trump, who's a friend of mine, or Biden. I'm saying communists took over in 2020. If inflation is in asset prices, like the stock market, real estate, we make fortunes. But the working guy out there working for $50 an hour, or whatever they work for today, he just took a haircut. Then he can't afford to live. That was capitalism. Stage one was socialism. They couldn't accept communism at first. So what Marx says, we have to put in socialism as stage one. So that was Social Security, everybody's now on Medicare, welfare, and all that. We're now a welfare nation. So stage one, which is socialism, completed. The fractional reserve system and bank reserve currency, which is macro, that's where the heist took place.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.